Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with your host Imperial Dane, the one and only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, off to 1v1 on Angoville Farms. In the east it is, on the southeast, South Unit, Riftwalker here with the British Empire, the Commonwealth here with the 6th Armoured Division, tasked with breaking down the German lines being held by Thien, fighting for the Wehrmacht, das Vaterland. Here with the Hammongering Fallschirm Panzerdivision, we got a Dull Pioneer Grenadier opening versus a Vickers Star here from Riftwalker, a interesting pick here. Not something you see too often, though it's not super rare either, so it is interesting nonetheless here. Also busy wearing off here to prevent the opponent from rushing the cutoff point and utilising against Riftwalker. He's utilising the might of barbed wire to just make that a bit tougher. Vickers in the move a lot with the section here for the British Empire. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for the continued generous and wonderful support of the Propagandacast, keeps making all these videos possible, and a big thanks to commenting and liking on them, helps out immensely with YouTube algorithms, and keeps the cat from biting off my fingers, and I do like those fingers. So, we got Battalion picks here. It is Indian Artillery here for Riftwalker. Seems to be making a slight return after being kind of forgotten in the meta game for a while. And Thien here with the Luftwaffe, always to some extent relevant. Of course, not likely going to go for the Fallschirm Pioneer. They're just continually stuck in that valley where they just don't do enough for what they cost, basically. Which is a shame. But anyways, got the Vickers, they're pushing westwards, aggressive play here by Riftwalker and his machine gun team there. Leading the charge for the British Empire is the machine gun. MG42 team of the Thien will need to counter this British nuisance to German territorial integrity. Men, we must stop these verdammten Englishmen, no matter the cost. There you go. MG42, they're absolutely lucid, cutting down there. Ronald as he gets obliterated. 8 Grenadier Squad more for Thien, and das Vaterland. And Riftwalker another section. My apologies. Pioneers on the cutoff point here. Sappers sneaking about. All a bit of maneuvering here so far. And again, it's not like the barbed wire prevents him, but it does make it harder here for like Thien to sneak up, setting the shot in the building, and then mess with things here for Riftwalker. Pioneers here find themselves hunted down by British forces, most upset with that cutoff point being, well, cut off. Grenadiers appearing west side machine team aggressively. Vickers there watching the foliage for any German movements. And another section of Riftwalker and the British Empire. Tally-ho, chaps. And another Grenadier squad there for Thien and das Vaterland. Onwärts. Vorwärts. Section almost down there for Riftwalker. Pioneers, Grenadiers in the east, moving east was there. Slowly grabbing some points.
Section of Tommies has been trained.
And we got the MB42 team trying to figure out where to go next. Vickers continues to admire the leaves, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe Riftwalker's not entirely sure what he wants to do with it. Section setting up shop here. Or perhaps they're just waiting for that section to arrive. Machine setting up here, perhaps anticipating fighting around here. In which case that is a pretty good retacking there. But Thien up north here. Grenadiers with Pioneers, Sportcast Saps on the right, far right flank here. Vickers here, going to catch him before you two, which caught the section.
Our supply line's broken.
There you go, Vickers absolutely landing the damage onto the MG42 team here. Fun little fact about the British and their Vickers machine guns, they actually had a tactic where they could actually angle the guns up to the point they basically would use them like artillery. Just fire, they had the shots ring down from above. It's actually a World War I tactic, actually, all of that, but they'd actually continue to use it in World War II. Little fun fact there. So grabbing points here. German forces have pierced the veil that is the eastern front line. British forces are lacking any sort of heft here. Can't really deal with that, as most of Riftwalker's focus is on the west flank now. Platoon command post on the way there. Thien here. No tech yet.
Lines cut.
Luftwaffe company. Classic pick there, of course. Probably because for many players, the Luftwaffe company basically offers you the best challenges to an enemy light vehicle, whereas the Panzer only company basically have to rely on the PAP, which is too clumsy and clunky. And of course there's a Stug, but that takes a lot longer to get to compared to the Jägers with the Panzerschrecks, possibly the Flak 30 or the 221 with the Panzerbuchse. So there are some issues there. The Luftwaffe battle group with the Luftwaffe company, just great naming sense. MD42 they're pushing back the infantry section. Their vehicles continues to move forwards, slowly inching ahead here. Section they're about to get, I think, pushed over the Pioneers. 2-1 on the way there for Thien as expected. Riftwalker though gets the Pioneers. Minor blow there to the German army, and it's overall Kampfstärke there. Another section around this time, the scope, the Enfield. There we go. Gurkhas out for Riftwalker. Elite Nepalese troops. Known for their great courage, tenacity. Considering they could go up against the Fallschirmjäger, seems like a very fitting pick. 2-1 almost done here. Granny's being met there by infantry section. 2-1 right around the corner. No pick though. The Fallschirmjäger hit here for Thien. So there goes section. Gurkhas moving in there. Granny's being run for the house here, but again, with most of the doors wired off here, that exit is going to be a bit dangerous in the face of the Gurkhas and the section. Bunker on the way from Thien. Armored cars arrive. And of course, here Riftwalker does have a bit of an issue. He has no counter to the 2-1. This is where going for the Gurkhas, while neat, might have been a bit of an extension manpower-wise, as he's then no manpower left. So you have an anti-tank and ready. You can get out a Humber anytime soon. And the armored car here was also able to save the Grenadier squad there. So, nice save there. Fallschirmjägers lined up here.
Reinforcements, Commander.
Riftwalker here, putting reinforcements aside for now. Yeah, going for the Humber here. Medic bunker for Thien and Das Vaterland. And there you go. Biggest getting outdone here by Thien and his 2-1. The leichte Panzerschwerwagen. We got the Humber halfway done here. Enforcing healing, heading east with the sappers, moving for the fuel point. Yeah, German player definitely is getting more fuel here than Riftwalker, and Riftwalker will obviously want to prioritize getting it back, otherwise things are about to get very uncomfortable for him rapidly. Pioneers busy laying down mines there, right by the fuel point. Could also lay down here, for example, or here, but certainly not a terrible spot. And now we got the Humber out here, and right now, of course, Thien has no counters to the Humber. He could upgrade his 2-1, but whether or not he does, there's another subject matter entirely. There you go. Mine goes off. Arrows there, gets his feet blown clean off there. And they do get a Jäger squad here for Thien and Das Vaterland. West side guy going is on the move here, 2-1 racing in. Further side going is routed, 2-1 going westwards here. Smoke on the machine gun nest, very nice here. Got the Humber going here for the 2-1 as it withdraws, of course, knowing there's going to be Humber inbound here. Jägers have ride, but got the Panzerschrecks on the way, but they will take at least some time to get, on the spot. Actually calling the machine gun here. Yeah, and hopefully noticing the large orange flares. Smoke there.
Territory lost.
Section reinforcing.
Initiating rollout of battlefield commissions for the men.
Yeah, but training brief considered, but no goes to the medic station. Honestly, with all the infantry he has, I do think prioritizing the healing for Riftwalker is the smarter choice initially. That said, getting the infantry training is also just incredibly good. East side Gurkhas, their fierce fight for the eastern fuel point. Here, Granny's got the Stielhand Granate there off. M35. Which was the primarily used version, that one, or they would halfway through the war come with the M43, which featured a much more simplified arming method. By which I mean, instead of drilling it through the entire handle, they just had it at the top of the grenade.
Sector overrun. The enemy
Which
has it.
vastly made the process a lot easier and cheaper. It's one of those cases where the Germans just had such an obvious solution before them, and it took them a long time to get around to it. You know, Fritz, what if, instead of just drilling a hole for the handle, we just added the arming mechanism to the top of the grenade? My God, Jürgen, you're a genius! Into the enemy photo, Hummer letting loose. Got smoked artillery fire here. Officer getting on the line to fire for Thien. Support numbers on the way there. Can't go for the Virulent sadly. No fudge makes it out of Thien.
A capture point is being overrun.
An absolute tragedy here. For now, you have Riftwalker applying some good pressure to Thien. Though, still struggling with fuel income, which is definitely where Virulent will hurt and certainly will make the Virulent right now an optimal choice here for Thien. I mean, his opponent's got anti-tank weapons. Virulent's going to be absolutely devastating. Sabers had the pushback and these for the Grenadiers. So, I mean, Riftwalker will obviously need some anti-tank guns soon. Going for the training here, I mean, again, in a vacuum, it's an excellent choice there. But unfortunately, in the light of what's going on there, and again, he's seen the Jaegers, he's seen the Panzerschreck, he's seen the armored car, he should very much be anticipating a Virulent within the near future. Oh, got the Linkers there. Nice hit there. So, Riftwalker here going for the training, rather than making sure he's got like a counter to the Virulent, is definitely not great. Particularly since he doesn't actually know which battle group his opponent's gone for. I mean, we know that Riftwalker does not, so theoretically, his opponent could even pick right from him. He could rush out that Virulent. So for Riftwalker here to go for training right now is a definite, I think, error there. Because right now in the current, meta game, if you're seeing a Wehrmacht play with Jaegers in the 2-1, you can almost be certain they're going to go for Virulent, particularly if you don't have any anti-tank weapons. Your opponent would have to be very silly not to go for Virulent under those circumstances.
We've lost us.
So, Riftwalker will have to, buy time, stall out, and hope the Virulent doesn't just, rip through him too fast.
Victory point.
And there you go, Fudge makes his inbound for Thien, 2 thumbs up. And drop them here by the fuel point, perhaps a bit too aggressive there out of Thien. About to get a bit ugly there with the Gurkhas and the infantry section nearby. And there you go, grenade assault, full handful there of Miller's bombs. Need to retreat now. What are you doing, Thien? I mean, you really should be paying attention when you drop your Fudgy Jaegers, particularly dropping them close to the front line. At least he did avoid a full wipe, but that was dangerously close there for him. The set around the 2-1 Virulent very much caused a complete collapse in the east side of Riftwalker. Got the 6-pounder on the way there. That will certainly help him. Stall out. But as a whole, not exactly in the spot he suddenly finds himself in compared to that Flak Panzer. West side here, German forces are busy. And we got the armored car applying that fresh pressure. Pack 40. On 6-pounder gun down there for Riftwalker, that is definitely not a Pack 40 unless you're nearsighted. Fallschirmjäger is good to go there. Equipped with the Fallschirmjäger 42. Also squad as well there, benefits the Flak Panzer, the armored car, the Jaegers, of course, the Fallschirmjägers. Ren guns there for the Gurkhas. And with the 6-pounder gun, of course, Thien has to be a bit more careful now with this Virulent. As if it hits him under the wrong place and there's a 6-pounder gun nearby, he could quickly lose it. 2-1, that's been upgraded to the 2-3, providing Thien, of course, critical intelligence.
Grenades are being distributed to the men.
Grenades for Riftwalker here. but he continues to have a bit of a tougher time with map control as Thien at the time being. There does have a good victory point lead.
Infantry available to bolster our ranks, Commander.
But the fuel situation is heavily favoured by the Germans. For now, though, cheap reinforcements off Riftwalker. Then will take a bit longer to get there himself.
Rifle grenades and anti-tank grenades are now available.
Grenades ready there for Riftwalker. There goes Sneaky Bomb off. Six-pounder gun scoring great hit here. Something called in as well. Don't think they'll be able to finish off the hunt of Riftwalker here, but getting close though, getting very close.
Under attack.
Another squad out at the end, probably another Panzerschreck. There, going to go to ankle just sufficient enough to catch the section, goes for the flank there.
We've lost the sector to the
Build up
enemy.
here of the north end here of the farms on Angoville. And another pioneer squad Thien does need them to repair his stuff a bit faster, more efficiently. Another 6-pounder gun for Riftwalker. Very much anticipated. He could of course try for the steward, but probably with the fuel situation as this, he doesn't want to like commit to that. So 6-pounder gun more is very much, you know, the ideal pick in
The
this
enemy has
situation.
pushed us back from our sector.
Good shot there. And the 6-pounder gun there is right around the corner.
Anti-tank crews are on standby for orders.
And Gurkha's moving in.
Additional ordnance is being made available to artillery
Bigger
crews.
barrage yourself for Riftwalker. Then just continue to hold out here for his
We're losing a
own
fuel
cheap
point
reinforcement
to enemy.
ability.
We're losing a victory point.
And there you go, German assault moving in. But unfortunately for Thien and his men, they find themselves at the receiving end of a Vickers volley.
The enemy has our victory points now.
Further west, things are going much more in the way of Deutschland as the Flak Panzer lets loose.
We've lost a sector.
LD-40, and yeah, can then go for the cheap reinforcement in a few moments. Like he is very, very close to it. Needs just a few more points of experience, and he is pretty much there. There we go. Can now get cheap reinforcements. There you go, double 6-pounder gun, see positioning actually means they might be able to get a finishing volley off it. There you go, gets it! Double aiming into tank, it's more proving to be absolutely silly and potent. There you go, Thien with his own cheap reinforcements. He starts completing fall to the German side. Might sound great enough for Riftwalker, since that's where most of the victory points are. He really wants to get that, I think, back on his control as soon as possible here. Versus the Germans. We do get Riftwalker slowly bringing his men into position to deal with that. Goes off in here, gets pushed into the open. But 2-1 to the rescue in the champ. Now that could in turn get hit by the Humber. Units there getting wrecked apart here. Being good use of the training to minimise the chance of the units getting off a good Panzerschreck hit on the Humber. Thumbs up to Riftwalker. I think Riftwalker's planning to take up here though, the way he's flooding manpound fuel versus his opponent. Again, does also look like a panzer company out of him. Ooh, nice merge there.
Sector lost. Repeat. Sector lost.
Humber in need of repairs.
Covering this arc.
Machine holding up here. And some mines. And there you go, Company Command Post and Panzer Company more or less at the exact same time there for both players.
That's an HMG! He's seen us!
Of course, obviously happens next, but I would expect these Riftwalker to probably go for some foot guards first. And again, Panderful first could be like a choice, though they could also go for Stars to them. Or just another 5-squad as well, I guess.
You have 3 We're losing a fuel point.
368 within 12. Riftwalker still has a better lead on Thien, but it is slowly bleeding away here, and something needs to be done to prevent this from further escalating beyond his control here. 2 to 3 Battalion Hanks reach eventually 3.
Territory sector
Thumbs up.
lost, Commander.
Let's get a bit more spongy with that one. Big old grenades on the Gurkhas.
Sector overrun. The enemy has it.
There goes smoking off there from the Humber. East side slow approaching for the British forces. Tank of platoon. Company command post up for Riftwalker. Thien's panzer company is up. Thien can soon go for a Panther. In fact, he goes for it immediately. But for Riftwalker, again, the fuel situation really prohibits him going for like any tanks right now. So best he can do is actually go for some foot guards, get some bazookas, get some Thompsons and gun bombs on the field, and pressure the opponent until then. So there you go, east side being completely gobbled up, Panther 4 halfway done. Panther 4 slowly getting ready. East side there. On the move. Foot guards for Riftwalker, as expected. He pretty much his own response out of it. If he wants to like do anything with it right away. Let me cancel it. Oh, he's not hasn't cancelled it. He can also go for Crusader then. Little Crusader. So that'll definitely give him a bit more to push back with against his opponent now. He's still got the victory point lead here, so an all smooth sailing here for Thien, and it does fast slide. Panther for the arriving here to support the Hammond during Fallschirmpanzerdivision. The Luftwaffe's only Panzer Division would get upgraded to Panzer Corps before the end of the war. Germans pouring into the side here. Got the foot guards ready with their Thompsons, the bazookas, and their smashing mustaches.
Frontline sectors are ready to be barraged at the first sign of enemy activity, Commander.
Barrage abilities are selected for Riftwalker.
Enemy ground forces
including perimeter monitor, if you can get enough munitions for it. Then 64 to 174. Germans push back against the Allies. Riftwalker responds to it, does seem a bit slow. And there go these the foot guards, so coming the Jaegers. But they do lose for Freddy there in the process. AT guns, Crusade on the move here. Starts withdrawing the Panther, probably anticipating the double 6-pounders here. We lost one tank to it. No need to lose another tank to the air moving anti-tank and strat tactic. East side their points being ceased.
Give him space, crew.
359 to 274. Puck continues to take here. Jaegers choosing the middle road here to try and sneak up its opponents. Not bad, we got Riftwalker responding to the side of the Jaegers, bringing the sappers here to keep the flanks clear. Goes with another side. And unit wiped here, Pioneers. Done with here by Riftwalker. The end of keeping up the manpower float here. Got the mine spotted. What could the enemy plotting here? More functioning against Starstorm or something else entirely? Sappers are about to get buried there by the Germans. Grenade assault here, quickly dodged by Thien, having none of that east side here. We got Canadians push back with the recce section. Foot guards in the movie, catching the 2-2-3 there. We got Starstorm both there. 2 thumbs up. And there you go, caught the 2-2-3 there with the Crusader tank, almost had with the second shot. Riftwalker to soon go for another Crusader. Best Thien's going to have to wait a bit longer for a Panther 4 more.
They still have 250 points left.
Of course, if he's concerned, he could like just go for Martyrs instead. But we got another Crusader there for Riftwalker, and another Starstorm squad there at the end. 2 thumbs up. That's also going to give him a lot of infantry. We're talking at that stage. 7 squads of infantry, 3 of which will be very much on the elite end of the spectrum. That would certainly be a challenge in some respects here for the Riftwalker.
Threatening a fuel point.
Of course, he does need to be wary of the Crusaders who cut for a lot of his troops there, no matter how many. Sabres charging in with unsurprisingly poor assaults as they get hit with every bullet the German infantry can muster. 6 Battalion gun back there, run by 5 Spectres pushing in there, advancing past the garage. More pioneers to the Thien. Jaegers hunting down the Crusader tank here, second one ready. Almost got the 6 Battalion, and there go. Last man running, unable to hold the entire gun by himself, he just ditches it. Almost got Thien there with the loiter.
We have territories exposed out there. Lines being cut.
And there go German troops making off for the 6 pounder here. Bold heist here by Thien and Deutschland. There you go. Crusaders might be able to put a halt here. We also got Deutschland coming up here. 6 pounder crew almost gone. Quickly merging with it again. Thumbs up to Thien. Response there. Savvy response. Grenades are being chucked. The Stielhandgranate. Seems like the Fallschirmjägers might also use the Eierhandgranate, the actually more in larger numbers made grenade that just really does not appear like most media. Of course, it is not as iconic. But it's actually made in larger numbers. It's also a little less powerful, but they compensate for that by just chucking a lot of them at the same time. So, little fun fact there. It also would have a fragmentation sleeve similar to the Stielhandgranate. Second committee. And we actually got grants being unlocked here by Riftwalker. 2 thumbs up. Been a while since seen the grants, but after the Crusaders got that effective buff there, they've just kind of been left behind the dust there. Riftwalker believes in the power of the M3 grant. Running plan to transfer his Crusaders for grants.
Requisition of grants complete, Commander.
Got some chili fire. The German or British forces pushing against the Germans. Like to withdraw here. 359 on 93. Starting to run a big 2 point. Thien does need to get a bit more active. Left side, for example, is a good spot. And there you go. Massive wave of troops here. Starstorm, Fallschirmjägers, Jaegers, all of them over there. Full dust fighting. Could also be planning to flank in through here. And plenty of ways to like attack from this map. And the reason why Angoville is such an interesting map is due to the way it's active designed, so it creates a lot more interesting attack vectors. It can be played in a much more non-linear fashion than other 1v1 maps.
The beggars are threatening a victory point.
Officer squads there for Thien for his Panzer Company. Thumbs up to that.
Victory point lost.
West side British counter-attacking here, but being met with heavy fire. We've got the Crusader flanking return here. British assault on the west quickly stamped out. The British forces are still on the move here. Riftwalker is not giving up. There goes Starstorm in trouble here with the foot guards. Sorry about that. Bit of a cold that is returning to go wings, gave me a bit of a nasty throat. Oh, nice grenade there. Almost got Riftwalker there. More blasts, more rockets, more doom, more boom. German assault continues here. British forces steadily melting away here. Got 357 was on 78. Position left behind, victory point that could be seized. There you go, withdrawing one Crusader. Then calling grants. And then many mighty guns.
Armored vehicles are receiving frontline training.
Think it's in trouble. There you go, first M3 grunt on the way there for Riftwalker. Thumbs up. Bren guns here for Riftwalker's regular sections. And we got Ace Foxy Mega C putting up a fierce fight here, but this is two Bren gun sections. Things might start coming a bit apart from them. Continuous water arriving here, including a recce section. East side there, the fighting intensifies, plans for to be out of trouble. Ground almost done here for Riftwalker. Thien with the armored side gets thumbs up.
The Grant's medium tank is reporting in.
There you go, M3 Grunt ready. Starston flank quickly holds it. Here over the Grunt. Far west they're going, he's poking about there as well. Taking advantage of the chaos in the centre, just quickly gobble off the sides. Doing 56 for 78. Germans back to bleeding out the bridge, at least attending to. Heinz there going down.
Alright, we're ready. What there?
Utterly obliterated with a single shot.
We've made contact with troopers.
There you go, Gurk is being pushed to the very limits, just 4 men bleeding, but viciously resisting the Germans. And for the 22 as well, thumbs up, they good preservation there by Thien.
We're losing a fuel point to enemy action.
There you go, officers' quarters up. Riff, of course, could withdraw his second Crusader for another Grant right about now. But with the 9 doesn't, is another subject entirely. East side there, launching assault to keep the Germans off the field point, the ultimate for the victory points. As Thien has committed the entire west force to the west side, in the east, very open here. 3 moving in. Branch versus Jaegers, the Panther 4 here, east side there. Bit of moving as well.
Threatening a fuel point.
Got the fucking getting blasted here, Panther 4 minutes spot with the Jaegers.
To enemy action.
Goofy roaming about.
A victory point is being overrun.
Armour Castle work their grenadiers, watching as the building before them just takes a massive hit, doing time stones all over the place. Foot guards with a gammon bomb. Oh, did not pay attention. Actually went into the building in the first place by being hammered with artillery. Questionable call there by Thien, maybe just wasn't paying too much attention.
Victory point is in enemy hands.
The victory point can't continuously against here, Mr. Thien, and he will need to do something about it soon.
Work done. Now what?
East Gurkha's there. Watch them see nurse. Health, fire accuracy. Nasty stuff there. I mess with that because also the training bonus, which we don't really list here, but they add some punch as well to the workers. East side quick jump counter attack here going for the northeastern victory point here.
We're losing a
Watkins
victory
in
point.
tick here. Again, really slightly to start getting the boot in on this.
Victory point belongs to the
As
enemy.
Riftwalker, he is not too far away from another Grant here versus his German opponent.
The enemy has pushed us back from our sector.
Whether or not he commits to it is a bit of another discussion. Bit of quiet. Bit of silence. Both players lining up whatever comes next. Seeing build up here in the west. East side, we got the Grant Crusade on the move here. Veterans here too. Really like armored vehicle training. We do actually just have it a while ago. Thumbs up to that. Another wave of trooping out here for Thien. Getting ready to push eastwards here. We got Thien fighting armors under 15. Germans finally able to hold victory point beating there. Go Thien with the Loiter, right in the midst of Riftwalker's positions in the west. I think there's a pretty solid decision. Foot guard to keep attacking here. Troops have been caught here by the Luftwaffe. The Stukas come flying in, their guns blazing. West side, Sabres being mauled by the Stars as they get sent in heedlessly of the danger before them. On the west front, pretty much just falls apart here. Go to the light and Riftwalker's complete lack of anti-aircraft guns. Say they're doing what they can to keep things clear. Then we got the Foxman's line, 2 to 3, could get knocked as well by the mighty British fast tank. And 2 to 3 goes up in flames. But Thien is far from done, saying the Panther 4, the Jaegers, they're not quite fully coordinated. Could at least set some of the Jaegers run along on the Panther 4, for example. But Riftwalker's back to being out his opponent. We got a sectioning up there to take away the good old sticky bomb. Crusader shoots but misses. Second shot that goes through. Grant is busy being repaired here. Still no additional grants here out of the Riftwalker though. I think that's a good bit of luck there for Thien, honestly. That just Riftwalker isn't going for more Crusaders, at least certainly not more grants.
Keep the pressure on. They only have 100
like
points.
if Riftwalker to like suddenly hit like a lot more grants Crusaders, that could be a massive problem for Thien. The fact that he isn't really helps out his opponent. Almost had it there. Close call, but ultimately for the shot. We got the stars of the MD-42s and a flame for the managed to cope there. Very nice work. Another bunker of Thien. It's got to be a machine gun bunker. Imagine maybe a repair bunker. We'll also go for another Panther 4 soon here, I think, at this point. Grant's almost got the Grenadiers because he wipe, and he gets the wipe. But we got Yates with Patrick plus the anti-tank gun. Almost costing Riftwalker's Grant. He'd like to go for another one now. He wants to. There we go. Another Grant here for Riftwalker. This time I think a bit more likely for Thien. He's building a lot of bunkers here. Landing them.
Victory point is in enemy hands.
Pressure advance here.
Broken.
Starsome routed, and the second Grant is halfway done.
Come on then.
Though he does need to repair up his armor for sure.
We have 300
And this is certainly where
remaining.
Riftwalker has a bit of an issue right now. He's only got one sample state to repair his 2 but soon 3 tanks. Not exactly, I think, ideal of a setup there for Riftwalker in terms of tank maintenance. Sturmpanzer Thien, with an opponent most of it infantry kind of makes sense, though at the same time there's also the counter argument. There's a lot, potentially a lot of amount of grants coming in. You know, going for Sturmpanzer 4 may not quite work out as ideal as we'd like it to. Crusaders going to draw on here. Riftwalker just wants more grants now. There you go, caught the Germans. Almost got the Pioneers repaying the Panther 4. Close call there. Even closer call. The Panther 4 also got the Pioneers afterwards. Strange on mine. Actually obliterated there. Train the cutoff point. West side of foot guards busy. Pioneers and packing. Sturmpanzer arriving. Or Stupan, as the Germans called it. They did not call it the Bomber. That was an allied designation for it, which for some reason stuck. But that's what sometimes happens. Sometimes the name just appears out of nowhere and it just sticks. A bit like the M10 Wolverine. It wasn't actually called the Wolverine during the war, from what I understand, and they don't really know where the name came from. Just to make it a bit more fun. Units running in, and German forces breaking through here. Hermann Göring Fallschirmpanzerdivision strikes hard. Second they've been forced off. Right, he looks like he's going to go here for the Sturmpanzer. Sandy having drawn the Crusader though. He didn't call in another one as soon as possible.
Victory point lost. The enemy has control.
Definitely gives, I think, Thien a bit more wiggle room versus his opponent. Apparently Thien never got that bunker finished, but now he's getting around to it. Finally. There we go. Stun shot off there. Front going from, we got Jaegers to the flank Grenadiers, Panther Faust galore, and a Panther 4 here. Not a great setup there for Riftwalker, truth be told. Baker's laying loose here. Got 284s and 91 here. Lead is still being held here by Riftwalker in terms of victory points, but in other respects, Thien is starting to outpace his British opponent. And Riftwalker, I think, needs to, like, you know, look to seize the initiative a bit more. But he also just needs to, like, get more grants out and, like, you know, can still, like, leverage in a significant tactical advantage. Betty to the gain on the M3 grant, giving a nice boost there to try to find accuracy.
Our victory points now.
Good guards in top of this jump panzer. Still pushing off this massive behemoth, at least for a while. Got the 6 million with a sticky bomb there, like the plan, but no, doesn't get it off here. Instead, they end up taking a massive hit from 150 with a gun. And there you go, Ace Worker start storm there, going for the sister, so we could see a wipe here on Riftwalker's section. Apparently all the veteran fleet bonuses, then the training just... Oh, never mind, they had a mine. Going into a fine pink mist there. 284 versus 89. Germans pushing on the west side here. Riftwalker just bleeding so much he can't easily go for another grant. Which point again, maybe withdrawing that Crusader was actually a bit of a mistake. At least he has more sappers now. Thumbs up to that at least. Germans over the dug in 6-pounder.
Give us bloody orders.
279 versus 89.
Under fire! Enemy infantry
Got this Fugs makes lane loose once more with that Fugs making the S-150. The elite foot guard shocking into it. Supported by the ground. Jump punch nearby though. There goes Jump punch, gets a great shot. Those foot guards will have for the draw. There won't be much left of them anyways. East side, bit of like poking German defense there. Remains a bit on top of that to crack head on. The good flank could deal with it quickly. Awesome artillery, but Riftwalker is also short munitions on top of manpower. Right, as the Jaegers push them off here. It seems like Riftwalker is really getting pushed into corner, and it seems like he's not entirely sure how to break out of this kind of situation. But Agi's got plenty of options. Like, he could try and flank up for here, like swinging wet hard from the east towards the west here. Like, try and go for deeper flank here. But, like, even trying to stick up for the center and the hit from some surprise angles there. But instead, he just seems like just goes straight at his opponent's lines in a very direct fashion, which ultimately only really benefits the Germans. So obviously, if Riftwalker wants up the Germans, he's just keep doing what he's doing, but he wants to win, maybe, you know, consider some other angles of attack. There's some thoughts there. Straight ahead here with the tanks, the grants leading the charge. Again, he's very much taking it on here. No attempt to like outmaneuver his opponent, no attempt to surprise him. Another bunker up there for Thien. With the 6-pounder gun here. Massive damage to the grant there. Starts to be whipping through the foot guards. Got a panther moving in here from the east side now as well. Could cause some further problems here for Riftwalker.
Points remaining.
Just got a machine gun come from the eastern point there. Could easily be pushed off with the Panther forward. Good flank. Kettenkrad from Thien. The mighty Kettenkrad. Another bunker there out of Thien. So many bunkers. Does make sense. Especially with the Riftwalkers playing. The bunkers are actually pretty decent investments because, I mean, it's not like Riftwalker so far showing much inclination for flanking, meaning the only way you can really deal with them is, of course, just a moving anti-tank, which, I mean, is, again, a pretty effective counter. It's probably one of the reasons why am I not seeing so many replacements of bunkers, because you can just aim with anti-tanks and destroy them. 179 versus 89. Cat and Crab racing through here. Only get that by Sappers. East side there. Brand is the exit drop to the good because the ships in the ground. Lloyd on each the left flank here. Further collapsing things for Riftwalker and the British Empire. Things looking a bit tough there for old Blighty. The face with the jump, so we got the ground going coming far, but the 6 Pentagon crew expires. Losing one was pretty bad there for Riftwalker, handing over at the end. But the second one is definitely a big issue. Very big issue. There you go. Grant there arriving, gaining victory 2. Could go for the third Grant now. It doesn't really matter. Pushing with the point, but help up the machine gun back course that is quickly put to rest.
Enemy ground forces
106 versus 89. Yeah, they're applying more and more efficient pressure against his opponent. And Riftwalker continues to not entirely sure like just what he wants to do, so he just sort of waddles about a bit.
We're losing a victory
Now we got the
point.
Kencrat going for the Eastern Victory Point. Which point he might actually get a triple cappy against Riftwalker.
Victory point.
That'd be a
is in
massive
enemy
issue for the
hands.
British. So they could very quickly evaporate the victory point lead.
The Bosch hold all victory points. Act now. Take it in here.
Good shot on the strong punch. We got the 6 Pentagon ready to dug in and ready to blast some English tanks. 126 to 89. Vickers in deep trouble.
Heavy machine
White.
gun crew killed.
116 versus 89. Things really falling apart here for Riftwalker. Again, technically he needs to do something different. But it just continues to persist with the same tactics. Bunch of makes in deep trouble. Green Devils have definitely been forced to withdraw back to the Green Hell before they get done in. 105 versus 89. The clock continues to tick here against Riftwalker. Oh, White in before 2 with single hot hit on that grunt. Fantastic stuff there.
We've 100 points left.
Almost got the Storm Puncher there. Again, apparently not quite paying attention here. Going for it with the grunt. Almost had that artillery raining down death here. But there you go. Got the Storm Puncher, loses the grunt. Still not going for more. Floating resources. Seems like Riftwalker is just sort of hitting a natural limit here. Too much going on. Also, the match has lasted a fair bit here. Some players just don't have the stamina to keep it up. Good guns. Finally launching something resembling a flank, but without much support, they are easy targets for the starts of the Panther ripping through the foot guns. Another strong punch at the end. Riftwalker, though, continues to float here. Aimlessly and adrift. Finally goes for another grunt, but imagine he'd just gone for one more sooner. You know, like 3 grunts could have put a lot of pressure on his opponent. Can grab back in these as well there. 89 versus 89.
The enemy has our victory point.
There we go. Germans about to get another triple cap against the British. Quick close the match out here against Riftwalker if he doesn't do something about that rapidly. Grant's on the east side, Jaeger's on up here. Good shot.
Commander, enemy forces hold all victory
White.
points.
74 versus 89, 71.
The Grant's medium tank is reporting in.
Fresh ground out for Riftwalker and the British Empire, but the situation on the front line is an absolute mess. Orders being panically handed around while other units just about to do nothing. More Panthers at Thien and Das Vaterland. 53 versus 89. 51. The clock continues to tick here.
One last stand, gentlemen. We've only 50 points left.
47. Got some Pioneers, but I don't think the Pioneers are Riftwalker's biggest issue. Far from it. Grant going at it, Jaeger's letting loose. 38 versus 89. Ace right there. 36 versus 89. Mines exploding. 34. 33. Lloyd unleashed them right in the midst of the British counter-attack here, pretty much putting a halt to it. Absolute, there we go, GG, game over, a loss for Riftwalker, victory at the end, a brutal match there. So there you go, GG, game over. This is Brilliant signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye everyone.